Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today we're going to look at The Spider. And The Spider, this is the very first novel that was published in the Spider series back in the 1930s. I think it was 1933. We will look, 1933, by Popular Publications. This was written by Reginald Maitland Scott, RTM Scott, and yeah, this one was a Berkeley Medallion book, published in 1967, and that is Steve Holland, I believe, is the guy. But you'll see more. I'll show you these paperbacks and more paperbacks and different versions of The Spider. The Spider was one of the most prolific paper tigers, as they were called, pulps that sold literally millions of copies. So this is The Spider Strikes, first book in that series, Berkeley Medallion, and then I'll show you other editions. This is Hordes of the Red Butcher. And you know who that is. That's a good portrait of Steve Holland. And this is, the artist is Maguire, it says there. And this is the second printing. Yeah, pocketbooks. There's this. And there's the Death Reign of the Vampire King. Nice, beautiful cover here, and I believe that's a Maguire cover as well. Anyway, so there you go. So that's that one. That's the pocketbook edition. That one. There's Death and the Spider. Nice cover. And Brotherhood of Death. It says it's science fiction. And this is the Muse editions. I bet not too many people have seen these. These are basically the same as these, but this is the English edition, Muse books. They basically followed the pocketbooks editions, or the other way around. Yeah. So that's that one. And here is the City Destroyer. That's number 3. All right. This is a much more horrific cover. You take your pick on to see which one you prefer. But actually, according to the stories, none of this was not the look of the Spider. Not according to the novels, nor was this. And it wasn't this. The Spider never wore a domino mask. Anyway, so we'll show you some of the pulp covers. This is the Carolyn Graff Action Adventure series, and this is a 2-book-in-1 series. So you have Secret City of Crime and Spider and the Pain Master. That. So maybe I should share a little bit about the Spider. So the Spider series was mostly written by a very prolific writer, a guy named Norval Page, under the house name Grant Stockbridge. You see there. The Spider novels have fantastic, hyperbolic pulp titles that speaks to the bombast of Page's stories. Titles like Death Reign of the Vampire King and Dictator of the Damned speaks to the depths of hyperbole that Page is willing to go. Whole cities, in the novels, whole cities are literally leveled to the ground. Hundreds of people die horrendously. Yet Richard Wentworth, that's the alias of our main character, the Spider, manages somehow to save the day. On the covers of the books and pulp novels, the Spider you see there usually wears a mask. However, according to the stories, his face is described as very gruesome looking, with fangs and kind of protruding from his mouth. And I'll show you one of the covers. This is number 2 in that Carolyn Graff series. A total of 9 novels. There's 2 novels in one. So you're getting a bargain if you find these. This is actually how he appears in the stories. That's how he's described. The covers and titles of the Carolyn Graff series don't necessarily match the content. So this one, number 2, has Dictator of the Damned and the Milltown Massacres. Number 3 has Death's Crimson Juggernaut and the Red Death Rain. So, really over the top, hyperbole type titles. So there you go. So this is actually what he looks like in the novels. He doesn't always appear like that in the stories. And here we have the 4th book in this series. This is Death Reign of the Vampire King and The Pain Emperor. So, and this is actually the cover for the pulp story Master of the Night Demons. So that's that one, number 4. And here's another one. This one is the cover for Judgment of the Damned. So, and the stories in here are Judgment of the Damned and Master of the Flaming Horde. So, when did these come out? Let me just look. This was 1993. I remember buying these off the rack when they first came out. I thought it was pretty neat. You don't get covers like that anymore. And here is Slaves of the Laughing Death. And this is Slaves of the Laughing Death and Satan's Murder Machines. Just over the top hyperbole. Satan's Murder Machines is giant men of steel on a savage rampage do a stress test on the web as the Spider fights to halt their deadly march of destruction. Wow. Okay, so that's number 6. I believe this one's the next library book. Yeah, it says discard. And The Grey Horde Creeps. And in here is King of the Red Killers and Green Globes of Death. When a mad monarch unites the underworld to conquer America, the Spider throws a royal reception in His Majesty's honor. There you go. That's that's King of the Red Killers and Green Globes of Death. Just over the top stuff. And this is The Devil's Paymaster. This is by Grant Stockbridge. Cover, I think, is Norm. Looks like to be Norm Saunders, just by the style of some of the covers. Not this one, but this one does. And in here is The Devil's Paymaster and Legions of the Accursed Light. A trail of scorched earth sets the Spider on the warpath against a criminal horde bound for Gotham. Alright, so that's number 8 in this series. So that's that series. And again, you're buying 2 for the price of 1. So if you find these books, grab them up. They're fun reads. There's no question they're fun reads. Okay, but I'll show you other editions. This is Pulp Doubles, they're called. It's published by a company called Girasol. So a local company here in Canada. So see if I can just zoom out a little bit. Right about there. So there we have Reign of the Death Fiddler. Wow. Just horrendous covers. Very violent. Many of the pulps are violent. And there's Richard Wentworth. Nita Van Sloan, his paramour. And what else? And there's the spider doing his stuff, I think. How's that for violence? You don't see that on too many pages of books. And there's the Death Fiddler right there. Just a really violent series of stories. And so there's that one. And this is 2 for the price of 1. So Reign of the Death Fiddler and City of the Whispering Death. This one also has 2 novels. You have Prince of the Red Looters. And this one has City That Dared to Not Eat. The City That Dared Not Eat. Alright, so that looks pretty violent actually. So Prince of the Red Looters. There's that one. And this one is Empire of Doom. This is a singleton. This is Bold Venture Press, I believe. So these are easy to find actually. You can yeah, there's different companies that will publish them, and there's quite a lot of these books already published. They're easy to find, and the other ones are you'd have to find them in the used bookstores. All right, so I hope you enjoyed watching this little series on The Spider, one of the most violent pulp heroes of the 1930s. Over the top action, like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, so thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.